Welcome to episode 57 of the official podcast for Guardian 1, a Destiny group dedicated to the prosperity of Guardians everywhere. We broadcast live Thursdays at 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 Eastern, right here on twitch.tv/Guardian1 Network. My name is Remy, and tonight I am joined by River.
I am now the proud owner of a PS4 Destiny Edition.
Yes. Crimson Warlock.
Just when you thought Ares couldn't get any weirder.
Jez.
I'm the proud owner of a second PS4.
What?
And Agrios.
Woo!
Oh, God.
Great.
We're going to be talking about all things Destiny, but first, housekeeping.
I'm not prepared. 1 second. All right. All right, everybody. Nah, because I'm trying to write some crap at the same time. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening in on the podcast, however it is that you are choosing to listen. Be sure to follow Guardian1 on Twitter at G1Net. That's G and the number 1 and ET. And you can also send us feedback to our email, feedback@guardian1.net. We also accept other things besides feedback at our email. So if you just want to say hi, or if you want to tell, Agrios how sexy his voice is, you can also send that to the email too. We also have a Bungie.net forums group that's currently at 213 members. So we utilize the forums for comments and feedback as well. So be sure to join the conversations going on there. Big thank you to all those currently in the Twitch chat. As Remy said at the top of the podcast, you can watch the show live at twitch.tv/Guardian1 Network. We broadcast every Thursday at 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific. And if you can't catch the show live, you can always go and look for Guardian 1 on iTunes, as well as the YouTube channel at youtube.com/Guardian1 Network. Guardian 1 is a proud member of the Guardian Radio Network, so be sure to check out the Guardian Radio Network website at theguardiansofdestiny.com. There you'll find all the different podcasts that's part of the network, including the flagship podcast Guardian Radio. They broadcast every Monday night, 10:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Pacific on twitch.tv/Guardian Radio, and you can also follow their Twitter account at Guardians of D and their YouTube channel, youtube.com/Guardians of D. Other podcasts include Aim Assist Gaming, TTL Party Chat, Robust Radio, and if you want to read the Grimoire without actually reading it, you can check out Ghost and Echoes. Booyah!
I always wonder how you're going to transition that. You oftentimes just leave it there, boom, Ghost and Echoes. And I think to myself, well, this is River's time. I'm not going to look like I don't know what I'm doing.
I like to change it up. I feel like maybe I should change it up each time with something new.
Right. Although I have to say that Booyah is pretty good.
Booyah. It'll be something else next time. Maybe like Booyaka.
I like it.
Yeah.
Okay, so lots of stuff to go over. So much to talk about, but also so much Destiny to get to playing. So in an effort to do that, let's just get to what's going on, and we'll have our philosophical conversations at some point after this time. But you know what? I do want to start with River. Are you getting ready for the raid? Will you be raiding tomorrow at 10 a.m. or is your plan something else?
Which console?
Well, Xbox, clearly.
Oh, okay. There you go.
Although judging by how quickly I threw all of my previous gear to the side, you could probably get to raid ready within the time given.
Probably.
I mean, if you had started But yeah, on Xbox, are you planning to raid tomorrow at 10?
Actually, I really don't have the time tomorrow to do the raid on a Friday. I actually plan on doing that on Saturday because I'll have a lot more time to dedicate to that sort of thing. So no, unfortunately, I will not be doing it.
And how close to ready are you? I've heard that it's going to be light 290. What is your light?
My highest light right now is 232 on Xbox.
230.
Right? No, 236. There we go. 236.
236. Man, you're gonna have to put some serious time into it.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Crimson Warlock, will you be raiding tomorrow? And what is your light level?
I will definitely not be raiding tomorrow. My light level is only 225 right now.
Yes.
And yeah, I'll be working. I'll be watching the raid from work. Yeah.
Wait,
I don't know when I'll
watch
be
it?
able to. Yeah, I don't know when I'm going to be able to raid. It will be sometime in the far future, I feel. Probably next week or the week after.
Interesting. Jez, do you have a team ready? And what light level are you?
Yeah, I'm definitely ready. I'm currently 296.
Oh,
Check this guy
296.
out.
Look at the light level on Jez. And how did you accomplish this? How did you get to 296? Was this just the product of never-ending grinding, or was this a very skilled and precision tactic that you've been using?
It's definitely not skilled, or well, it's definitely not precision tactic. It's a lot of doing tier 3 Court of Orcs. It's a lot of doing heroic strikes over and over and over again. It's like the longer you stay in a queue, the more you get, and that definitely helps out a lot.
You know, I feel like that's awesome, but I'm torn because I did several strikes in a row, and this was just level 36. Like I just did level 36, and then my inventory, my found at the postmaster inventory, was totally full, and I thought, man, I wonder how many pieces of gear I just let slip through my fingers because I stayed in that thing for so long. So how do you balance that, Jez? Like how long do you stay in before you think, man, my postmaster has to be full and I can't carry anything else?
Well, here's a trick. You can use the app Dim or Destiny Item Manager, and you can see your postmaster.
Interesting. So then what do you do with that?
Just go in until you get like 19 or 20 in your postmaster, and then you're full.
Man, that's pretty good. And this is available on which mobiles?
I don't know.
What are you using?
Well,
use Chrome.
Destiny Item Manager is only available as an extension for Chrome. However, you can actually go right into the Destiny actual app itself and go into vendors and go to Postmaster. Just make sure after you go into there that you push down on the screen first so that it does a full refresh to make sure you have the freshest snapshot of your Postmaster. And you can see there, just like a vendor, what he has.
Awesome. That's really awesome. Sounds like something I will definitely be interested in using because I've only gotten so far on one character. But you say you are ready to go?
Oh yeah.
Excellent. And will you guys be streaming?
Not our team, but I know Dado is.
Awesome. Awesome. What about you, Agrios? What is your light level, and are you going to be raiding tomorrow?
I hope to be ready tomorrow. I'm not yet ready tomorrow. As you know, I've had a crazy schedule this week. I have a annual friends get together that coincided with this weekend, and there's no scheduling around it any differently. So I've been working furiously in my spare time, and I have managed to get somewhere around 2:39, I think, when I had to turn it off last. And I plan on getting up tomorrow morning and grinding furiously, and this is just to have one character ready to go, potentially. So hopefully I make it. I don't know, though.
Yeah. Hopefully you will make it. Hopefully I will make it, too. Right now I'm sitting at 262. And I got there. I went from 200 to 262 in like, I don't know, 4 hours of playing the game, and that included all the my requisite jumping around the tower for some reason. I don't know why I do this, but I will go to the tower and I'll find myself just jumping over obstacles, and I'll think, what am I doing? And it's like it's the in-game version of procrastination. You know, you don't want to take out the trash or something, and so you end up on Facebook. I kind of feel like it's the same thing. Yeah, 262. Okay, so what would you say, Jez? I'm at 262 right now. What is my focus right now? What should I be doing?
At 260, probably tier 2 Court of Orcs. So let's get 2 other people together and start collecting runes. If you're rank 5 with Eris, you can buy the level 2 runes. You just need Black Wax Idols.
Man, rank 5 with Eris. How do you even get there?
Well, you started at 4.
Yeah.
So you just play through the main story, I think, and it gets you to 5.
Yeah,
once you play through the Dark Below story again, it'll boost you right up there. Yeah.
I had already done that during the week without knowing that I would need it. But
so you can play through the Dark Below again. Are you talking about by going through the abandoned quests and picking that up? Excellent.
Well, that and also anything you do in Crota's End or anything like that is all going to give you Eris rank. If you go and what was it? Something we did a obscure kind of gave us Eris rank, and someone was like, "Oh, I didn't realize that would give us Eris rank now," but it made perfect sense. I can't remember right now, but certain, any activity that's based around that stuff gives you Eris rank.
Like you can get Eris rank from even collecting the chest at the start in the stills, not the abyss, the stills. So
stills.
Exactly.
That's what they renamed it.
Cool. Very cool. I will have to do that because I noticed, I remembered them saying, yes, you will be able to gain rank with Eris after Taken King drops, but they never mentioned how, and I didn't see bounties in her list. And I wasn't certain if by going through those abandoned quests that we were going to get rep that way. But that's really good to know.
Basically, everybody who got those quests is getting the same bonuses that anybody who's doing them the first time would get. They're all fresh for everybody. Again, it's kind of a reward for going through and re-experiencing the content the way they've recreated it.
That's really awesome. So does this ring true for all of the other quests as well? So if I wanted to rank up my Vanguard, I would just go through and do some regular story mode?
Yeah, you can actually see the rewards. Like when you have the quest selected for the beginning quest in your menu, if you highlight over it, it tells you exactly what those quests are going to give you as a reward, and they're the same for everybody. So
awesome. Well, that is really good to know. That's a really good tip. I picked them all up anyways, just because I feel like I want to go through many of these stories again with this new ghost. Even though initially I didn't really like the no bot. That's what people. I really like that no bot.
Don't. I hate him.
I'm torn. I'm torn because sometimes I feel like he's delivering the lines well, and other times they try and add this humor to it. And I don't know. The example that I have stuck in my head is that I scanned a rock or something, and the new ghost said, "Oh, I bet Toland wasn't very popular at parties," or something like this. And I thought, I don't know, what do you know about parties? Who is even partying with Toland? And I can't get it out of my head now. Every time I hear one of his voice from that journal, I think, what parties? What parties are people going to?
Parties in the tower. That's why we have the dance emote.
I guess. I guess. The sprinkler is pretty cool.
MC Hammer Dance.
Yeah, the Hammer Dance is by far the best.
The best.
And I wish that there was a way to get my hunter to do it because screw the sprinkler when compared to the Hammer Dance. But yeah, how are you guys liking your new subclass, River? I'm guessing that you're going with a Titan.
No, man, I'm still Hunter, and I love the Void Bow. It's freaking amazing. It's so cool to have this great support class, man. I don't have to rec shop all the time. I can support you guys if I want to.
I kind of feel like the Night Stalker does end up wrecking pretty hardcore anyways. How far are you up the subclass train?
Probably about halfway, I think. I think the last thing I unlocked was something with that smoke grenade. Oh yeah, whenever you use it and your allies turn invisible whenever you go through it. That's pretty cool.
That is so awesome. That is amazing awesome. What about you, Crimson Warlock? How far down the new subclass are you?
My Stormcaller, I have 6 bubbles left.
Excellent.
I have my last 3 on the bottom of my jump, melee, and super, jump, super, and melee, and then I've got the other 3 support bubbles of that class, and then I just unlocked my Stormcaller, or not Stormcaller, Sunbreaker Titan earlier today.
Interesting. And is it everything that you hoped it would be? Because when I looked at that subclass, I thought this might be fun, but I don't really see the utility in it other than it being really awesome. Like I feel like the awesomeness to usefulness was way out of balance. How are you liking it?
Oh, if you need to clear a room, you call your Stormcaller. Like Stormcaller just holds down his melee button and charges the enemies, and there's no more enemies after that. Like I love it. I love it just because it is such. It's not an AOE attack, but it is. Like that's just how it feels because you can. I mean, you can hit maybe 3 enemies at once, but you can clear a room so fast. It's pretty amazing. I do have to say, I feel like it's a little weaker than a Blade Dancer in PvP, though. Like I feel like Stormcallers will lose to Blade Dancers. But that's about my only thing where I'm like, maybe I should be able to kill a Blade Dancer before it can get to me. But I like the class so far. I just need my purple Void sword to be a true Sith.
So, River, I'd like to ask you, what are your feelings on this Night Stalker? Like you said that it's really great to finally have a support class. Do you have an example or something that really stood out to you as like, man, this is awesome?
Let me think here. Smoke grenade's pretty cool. Not just the void bow, man. I just really like tethering in. I've been playing a lot of the Vanguard stuff, not too much in the Crucible because my gear's not that up to par anymore.
Wait until you start using Vanish into Smoke.
Oh, jeez. So, so I've actually been using that a whole lot whenever we're doing PvE stuff, running the missions, and it really helps whenever you're about to get overwhelmed by a whole bunch of enemies. Because I've been playing Undying Mine. I really like that strike.
Yeah,
by
it's
the
really
way,
awesome.
And it's really sad that I missed out on it for the past year.
Totally.
But,
so wait,
man,
you played the new one or you played the old one?
The old one.
And
I hadn't played the new one yet.
Okay.
I don't even know how to unlock that part. How do you unlock that?
I don't know. I think I got into it randomly.
I think it's kind of a little bit random.
Okay.
It will sometimes load the it'll load it with Taken. Sometimes it'll load it with Vex, and you really know the difference. If it's Vex, it takes a long time. If it's Taken, it's really short.
Oh, really? Well, that one part where there's just all kinds of what is it? The Protheans, Prometheans? I always get them confused. So that part is freaking so sick, and I love using the Void Bow, and it gets the super keeps getting charged up, especially whenever you kind of get that loop, the orb loops going on with your fire team. Man, I just freaking tether everybody. It's so awesome doing that, especially whenever you get the shared damage in between them, and it's so it's not as crowd control like a Stormcaller, because that's awesome too. But man, it's such a good utility. Anyways, it's awesome. There we go.
I've been having a lot of fun with the with the Night Stalker as well. it was specifically, oh my goodness, being able to have the enhanced motion tracker system running
Yes.
and sneaking faster and also marking targets in PvP. That is OP. In PvP, marking targets is OP because if I'm shooting somebody and they're marked, I can see where they're going. There's just this X floating around on my screen, so I know what direction they're going. I've killed so many people that thought they were being sneaky by trying to jump over some boxes instead of going around, and I don't think they know that I can see them.
Nope, they sure don't.
But that is fantastic. That is fantastic. Okay, so Jez, what about you? What subclass are you using? Like in my mind right now, you've got all three of them maxed out, and you're just an
No.
insane badass in this world.
I haven't even touched my Titan or Warlock yet. Well, I've logged in and bumped all my reps over so that I can get the drops from it, but I haven't really touched the subclasses of the other ones. So I mostly just been playing Night Stalker.
And is it everything that you were hoping that it would be?
The only thing I found lacking is the final 3 Shadow Shot ability isn't as great as I thought. Quiver, it's not as great as I thought it would be. So I've been mostly using Bloodbound because AoE damage is awesome, especially if you have a Night Stalker tethering everyone with Bloodbound. Then you have Titan punching them with their Molten Fists. And then you have your Stormcalling everything down. Everything just drops.
Man, that sounds exciting. It sounds like what Bungie has done is provided a way that if you are coordinated, any foe could really be lukewarm water.
It's like they're trying to make it so that instead of spamming your heavy weapons, you're spamming your supers because they're so much more fun.
Yeah. Actually, Datto tweeted out about that. He couldn't possibly explain how much happier he is to be using supers instead of just Yellowhorn. And really, the whole game plays differently now. But let's get to Agrios. Agrios, how far are you down your new subclass? Which subclass is it, and is it everything you're hoping it would be?
I have been focusing on my Warlock. It's the only one I've unlocked so far. I'm probably about halfway through it, I would say, with the help of that exotic bond. I like it thoroughly. It is amazing for clearing out the PvE mobs. Like, when you come into a boss battle, and normally you wouldn't be able to do so much damage to the boss because the mobs are giving you such a hard time. If I pop that, we just, blam! You can just focus on the boss after that because everything else is gone. Everything else is gone. And a lot of damage to the boss in the meanwhile, because if you blast the boss and the ads are close enough when they first come out, it arcs to all the ads all around the boss. So you just pump the boss and kill all the ads around. And I find it amazing for those situations. You can really do a lot of damage early on initially by clearing them out like that. So it's a lot of fun like that to drop so many ads at once.
That's awesome. I mean, okay, so River, don't you feel like Destiny is an entirely different game at this point? Because when I'm looking through my vault, like I've spent enough time in the Taken King world where I'm looking through my vault and I just can't believe that I'm holding on to so much crap that's like I had to fight hard to get some of these legendaries, and right now I'm currently just shredding legendary after legendary because I'm getting pieces of gear that are better than it. I saw a guy last night in a strike. He was 291, and every single piece of gear he had on was blue except for his special weapon and his class item. Every other thing he had was blue. It's blowing my mind how quickly I'm going through legendaries, how quickly I'm going through weapons. And
so
part of it
might want to keep a couple shotguns, and a couple auto rifles. Just saying.
What are you talking about?
Later on, you'll need them. You'll want them.
Like legendaries or
legendaries.
any of them? Okay. pro tip from Jez, everyone: keep some shotguns and some primaries. That's
If you're
said.
Titan.
Tip.
If you're
If you're a
Okay.
Titan,
yeah.
Must be
If-
class quest stuff.
If
Ah,
you're a
got it.
hunter, you probably want your sniper rifle and your hand cannons and scout rifles and fusion rifles for warlocks.
Okay, so if you're running all 3 classes, make sure you keep one of each legendary.
Or
At
you're
least.
talking like multiple of each one.
Just 2.
Because I don't know, I have
It's just kind of like the keep 10 fusion rifles, except if if you do rares, it only counts as 1, but if you do legendaries, it counts as 5, and you only need 10.
I don't even have that many legendaries yet, man.
No, you
So
only need 2. If you have
Mm.
legendaries, you only need 2 legendaries of a type.
so
But
it just
you can also wait, get everything as you get them, and it'll still work. It's
the
not,
game the game feels insanely impermanent. Like I read somewhere that they were saying like they wanted you to have a bunch of little upgrades instead of few bigger upgrades, and that's what's happening. And I just feel like everything's going by so fast.
I really feel like they should have made the legendary gear classed more appropriately. I don't like the fact that blues are outclassing legendaries. It feels like it's taken the specialness away from the legendaries. So now you just simply have green, not green, and exotic. Whereas before,
disagree.
I was really impressed when I got a legendary. Now, I just know it's going to be something that's outclassed. I don't even care what the abilities are, because chances are I'm going to get a blue that's better than it before I even get the first ability unlocked on it.
Totally.
So
Totally.
now it's
Well,
not special to me anymore, and I really liked when legendaries used to feel special.
so I think
Hey,
that this
You know
is
why the
where
legendaries are that way, though, right? Or
it's
the
because
blues,
of your
the
it's
rares.
because your level, right?
That's how you infuse stuff.
Yeah,
They don't want you wasting legendaries to infuse stuff because that's
infusion
marks.
fodder.
That's marks. Like
Yeah,
they don't want you to waste marks to infuse, so they're going to give you blues that you can infuse the higher levels with your legend to get your legendaries up.
Wait, you can infuse blues?
Yes.
yeah. You use the
You
blues
can
to
use
infuse your
blues to
legends.
infuse your legendaries. Right.
Oh, I thought you could only use legendaries to infuse your legendaries. What
But
the
at this
actual?
point, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was gonna cuss. I mean,
Well, at this point, though, the way I feel is they're so valuable to me to go and get a new ghost shell, to go and get the new exotics that I don't have yet, that I need to upgrade to get good exotics for future use. I feel like the marks are so valuable for those things that I'm not even going to be thinking about infusing any legendaries until I've already got blues that are nearly the max amount of light they're going to give me on blues.
man, I
So
so
for now,
wish
it's all
I had
just
known.
fodder for me.
So much to learn about this. So where are you
So
in
while
the
we're-
Taken King River?
I want to hear what Agrios was going to say.
Yeah,
Go
let's do it.
for it, man.
While we're on the subject of leveling things up, this is something I think that everybody should know if you're not already aware. I mean, every little bit of light counts as far as getting new gear goes. So if you go to the tower with a dozen different blue engrams to decrypt, a tactic to use, first off, no matter what the gear is, make sure you have the gear on to get you the highest light level. Secondly, you want to look at what gear you have is the lowest light level relative to what your average light level is now, because that's your weakest piece. That's the piece you're most likely to get the best new upgrade in. So say it's your boots. Well, decrypt your boot engrams first and try to get a better boot. Flip that boot on, and then proceed from there, upgrading decrypting your engrams, matching your lowest piece first, because that's your highest odds of rolling a piece higher in it. And then every bit you are higher then makes the next engram likely to be even higher yet.
Makes
Man,
sense.
that's really good tip. And you know what, you guys, if you guys have any kind of tips you want to throw out there, it's really important. Like I feel like I have my my Destiny sensors on. Like I feel like I'm keeping an eye on Twitter and people's videos, and I'm learning myself what's going in on these things. But there's even so much that I've already learned. I'm ready to just stop the show and go play right now because I got stuff to do that's more than just grinding out a bunch of strikes.
Well, I mean, the situation I was forced into really made me have to try to figure out what to do the most efficient way possible to try to get there for, being there for the raid tomorrow. It's tough with the time constraints I've had.
Well, you know what? I know you can do it. And everyone listening, I way gave Agrios hell earlier today because this 2-day span right now represents me kicking Agrios's ass in Destiny as far as having gear and being ready for something, and this has just never happened. But really, he brought up a good point. 2.0, the release of 2.0 crushed his soul in that they took pieces of gear that we've been using for a really long time, and they made so much of it basically worthless. Like they made.
Oh, I haven't even talked about my vanilla armor I discovered after the show last week.
Your vanilla armor you discovered after the show. Why don't you tell us?
Okay, so last week we were talking about how I was sad about what they did to the old weapons, and it's not so much a fact that I know I'm not, I know I'm going to find more new powerful weapons to use and all that sort of thing, but they were trophies. We always talked about wanting to have a place to display our trophies. They were something we enjoyed using. They fired a certain way in a certain rhythm with a certain recoil that you were just used to, and it felt like, it's like comfort food. You know what I mean? So them just totally changing the mechanics of those early trophies that I had and changing the way they perform and everything about them made me sad and such. Then last week during the show, Remy had brought up the Dead Orbit cloak that had changed, and Remy put it on for us on the show, and it had flipped the whites and blacks on so it's a primarily white cloak with black and gray trim as opposed to a black cloak with white and gray trim. And it happens to be the same cloak that I had bought. Now I have a all white Dead Orbit cloak instead of an all black one for my old school cloak that I like to run around with, and it made me sad. Well, during the show, since we were doing it through PlayStation before, I had put on my favorite vanilla Destiny outfit, the gear that I had saved from the very first, some of them were very first legendary pieces I had gotten, and I saved them partially because the way that they looked. I liked their style, and I also liked the fact that when they had no shader on, they were this sweet, shiny brown leather, kind of trench coat with this side satchel, and I really liked all the colors in it, and I thought it was awesome. So I took care to save this as my ceremonial outfit, so to speak. Well, when I thought about that cloak and my vanilla outfit I had on, a wave of terror encroached over me, and I went and turned on my Destiny no shader, and sure enough, my sweet brown leather cloak is now all matte grays and whites, canvasy looking, just horribleness, and it made me super, super sad.
Okay, so the piece that he's talking about is the Nergal Savant 3. And it's a Warlock chest piece, and I saved this for the same reason that he's talking about. It just looked like this really super sweet leather coat. And really the term ceremonial outfit is perfect, because that's what I would wear it for too. You throw it on and you walk around the tower. I picked this up, in the first month of Destiny. How awesome is this? It was...
I spent hundreds of hours wearing it. I braved the Vault of Glass blind with it on.
That's awesome.
It was through trials and tribulations with me. It deserves a place of honor, not to be coated with whiteout.
Right, and now, and I'm not even saying that I don't like the way it looks now, but it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. It's not...
I'm saying I don't like the way it looks now.
Right, Agrios doesn't like the way it looks now. And I'm just upset because... why would you change these things visually? Why would this black cloak and this brown jacket change? Why would they change colors? It doesn't.
I did not consent.
Yeah. I understand at some point you need to change the functionality of these things to be more in line with the lethality of the Taken King weapons. But come on now. There's no reason that my black cloak... I took pictures in that. I would wear that cloak out. It was just so sweet. A black cloak, gold trim, and it just hung off to one side. It just looked awesome. I felt awesome in it. And now it's this giant white hood. I
cannot imagine the slack-jawed look of terror in my eyes when I clicked that notificator on after last week's show.
Right. So yeah, Nergal Savant, what a great piece of gear, and now it's not the same, and I don't understand. And it pisses me off. Change the functionality, fine, but why would you change the look? So yeah, horrible. That was a horrible decision in my opinion. Okay, so River,
After that,
how is it? Because to me, I really feel like Destiny is this whole different game now. Like all of the rules have changed. Are you feeling this same way? Are you in this game and thinking like, what in the hell is going on?
Both, a little bit of both, really, because it has definitely changed. This is definitely not the same game that we started with over a year ago, and I've been trying not to look up too many guides or anything, and trying to figure a lot of this stuff out by myself. But sometimes I feel like I'm a little overwhelmed by just how much stuff there is to do, and how little about it that I know in order to keep on progressing further. Like, legendary marks are kind of rare to me right now because I just now completed that daily heroic mission. First time did it like a couple hours ago. So now I'm starting to get, I guess, a steady income of legendary marks, but before then it was just really tough to try to figure out what it is I need to do in order to keep progressing efficiently. But I think it's all good. I'm liking all the changes. It's really nice.
I agree. I agree that I'm liking the changes. I agree that it is really nice. And it feels really fresh. It feels really fresh. I mean, and they said that they wanted to take away the need for something like Yallarhorn. And this was a huge deal. This was, in my mind, what was going to make or break them nerfing these weapons. Like, okay, you want to have this balance where people aren't worried about finding a place to hide. You know, like, you wanted to make it something where you were just enjoying the game instead of you remember when people would crouch down underneath the Archon Priest like that that grating?
Yes.
Because you freaking had to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So just real quick, I watched a couple of videos on how to get legendary marks just because I knew that it was coming up and I want to be raid ready. And so the thing is do your daily mission, do your daily crucible, and run your heroic strikes 3 times on one character or 3 characters. It's the same. You get only 10 marks for each for the first 3 for a week. And then those are the big ones that I've found. But Datto, his video basically took 6.5 minutes to say, just play the game. Like there's no real way to game it right now, and just play the game. Go through the story missions, enjoy playing Destiny, and you will receive marks at a certain pace.
Now you need a 260 light level for the Vanguard strikes, right?
Yeah.
That heroic strike deal?
Yeah.
Golly.
Right.
So far away from that right now.
I thought they were 240.
I'm 236 right now. Oh, you're talking.
No, I mean, I
the
thought
240 is
the
the daily
Yeah.
the daily mission.
240
The
is
heroic
the daily.
Am I wrong?
The
Heroic strikes is
260.
260.
So the daily is the same as the heroics. I mean, I may be wrong about what they are, but the daily is the same as the heroics, isn't it?
No. Nope. There's Vanguard heroic strikes, and then there's the daily story mission.
I don't think so, but
Well, what was your light again? You said some kind of like 200.
39-ish.
No, so all right. So River, in your case, what I would do next is I would sit in that level 36 strike playlist. That's how I went from 212 to 262 last night, basically just by solely playing through the level 36 play strike. You're just going to get, it's just going to go by so fast. Blue engrams mean something now. Green engrams mean something.
See, that's the thing. I wasn't
Complete-
doing that initially because I looked under it and I was like, oh man, it's just going to give me blue stuff.
Yeah.
And I didn't figure out that the whole infusion thing until like a few hours ago. Like, Bife had his video up. He's like, oh, you're going to need to get a lot of blue, blue gear to infuse your legendary. And I was like, oh, crap.
Too. So they're not totally viable up front. Like, up front, you just need to level until you're like kind of capped out on getting stuff. Then you should start to worry about infusing, because I mean, initially, your mark earnage is so slow that you're going to want to just go use those marks to buy gear that you haven't been lucky enough to get a high piece in. Because when you upgrade that piece, that in turn is going to make your other blues and stuff turn into higher pieces.
The only thing I'd buy is a ghost
option until like after the fact.
Just
the only thing I'd buy is a ghost, because ghosts are super rare.
You know what? And that's where I am right now. And I have
that's first.
I have 80 something legendary marks, and I was looking through the Vanguard, and I thought, you know what? I think I should buy this Vanguard Ghost, because all of these other pieces of gear I keep seeming to cycle through really quickly. I've picked up, I think, only one Ghost in all of the strikes that I've done, and everything that I've done so far, I've only gotten one. So that's a really good point, Jez. But so, do you think that it's worth it just to buy the Ghost, or do you think that there is a better use for those legendary marks?
See,
exotics.
I see blues like, if you think of your armor as actual armor, I think of the blues as like, here's one layer of armor, and here's legendaries as a second layer of armor. You wear the lowest, like the blues, until you find a purple you like, then use your blues as like a stepping ladder to get your purple up to where your blue was.
Man, and do we know if that exchanges the exact number, or if it's just slightly higher?
It's kind of odd, because it's like, if it's like 4 levels off, it will probably do all of them. Go ahead.
So here's the way I see it, kind of. This is slightly different angle that I've been kind of taking at it. Is if I get a legendary, I wear it twice. It's outclassed by blues. Then it goes into storage if I like the perks. If not, I shard it for the marks. But then I continue on, and once I hit the place where I'm not getting higher blues, then I'm going to start pumping those into the legendaries that I've saved in each slot.
And spoilers, there's not really a cap. There's up to 300 blues.
Well, that's what I mean. Until I hit the 300 blues, that way when I do start infusing, I start spending my marks to infuse. I'm infusing the highest possible blues I can into those legendaries and getting the most for my money, so to speak. Because if I keep getting higher blues in each category, I don't see the point in infusing yet.
What do you think about that, Jez?
You want to use blues, like I said, as a stepping ladder, so you want levels that are on the way to your highest blues. Otherwise, you're going to waste a lot of light.
You're going to waste a lot of light. You heard it here first.
I don't know if I understand exactly what you mean.
Let's move on. Crimson Warlock. How has Destiny treated you? Are you feeling like it's a brand new thing, and it's, I don't know, I feel like it's so completely different. I keep going back to my vault and seeing all this stuff that still means a lot to me. It's completely worthless, and at some point there's going to come a time when I will have to get rid of it because I will find new stuff. Where are you in all of this new Destiny?
I am embracing all the new right now. I pretty much went through my vault and got rid of every legendary weapon and most of my exotic weapons, just for shards and other things, because I wasn't sure what Xur was going to have, and so I decided to just make sure I had as many shards as I could, and got rid of most of my guns that I was just like, oh, I have this exotic, but I never ever leveled it up, so I'm just going to shard it anyway. But I'm really enjoying these changes to the game. I do feel like it's a brand new game. The quests they're so much more detailed, like the repetition doesn't seem nearly as bad when you're like, oh, I can go to Venus and work on 3 different quests right now. Like, that's fine for me to go on patrol and try and work through all of these. So I'm really loving the new quest system. I haven't had much luck with the light system yet. I did look through my gear. I'm using older gear and lower light level gear to try and level up my Stormcaller class as fast as I can. But I am at like 234 light now, so I guess I could jump into some strikes when I'm ready to. But I feel like I'm rediscovering everything about Destiny right now, and I'm trying to do the quests, and I need to spend more time in the Dreadnought. But I mean, there's a million things to do in the game now, and it's just so much more fun, so much more rewarding too. I feel.
Right.
I love the fact that engrams are dropping 100 times more frequently for me. I've gotten so many engram drops of just all colors so much more often, and it's been great. It's been great
Yeah.
to get engrams to drop again.
I'm really liking the engrams drop right from the end guy in the strikes. Like that, I feel is a really needed aspect. It's no longer anticlimactic. It's no longer, well, I hope that there's a tiny triangle somewhere underneath this guy. It's like I finished a Vanguard heroic and there was 2 blues and 2 purples came out of this guy and we're just sitting on the ground, and that looked great. That felt great. It was very, very rewarding reward. Even though I ended up just shredding all that stuff because none of it was anything that I needed, it felt really good to have it and pick it up. Man, purples, legendaries, like are they called something else, or are there different categories of purple engrams?
So
Because
I got
saw
a
one that
sublime
said,
engram.
that's what I'm saying. I saw a sublime one earlier today. Is that what they're called now, or is that just that specific kind? Anyone know,
I
Jez?
think that's a quest-related thing, isn't it?
No,
What?
that's an engram that River's not going to see when playing on Xbox, because that's the exclusive PlayStation armor.
Oh, right, yeah.
Gotcha.
Is the sublime engrams are the
Yeah, it always turns into the
So do we know now
neural
that
gas and stuff.
so do sublime engrams not appear on Xbox, or do they just not turn into PlayStation armor on Xbox? Because I didn't hear.
Well,
I'm
they look
pretty
just
sure
like
they just don't
legendary
exist.
engrams. They look
Okay.
like legendary engrams.
They-
They just have a different name on them.
They probably just roll it and say, "Is this PlayStation? Yes." Then 5% chance it's a sublime or something like that.
Well, I just
Otherwise,
remember
it's
the
just
way
a
they
double
phrased it in the update that they talked about it. They weren't clear as to whether they would appear on Xbox and just not turn into the PlayStation exclusive stuff, or whether how that worked.
all right? Let's see. Bobcat says they don't appear on the Xbox.
Good to know.
So unless anyone has anything else they want to add to this, why don't we take this opportunity to go to Agrios and the news? But real quick, I just wanted to mention to all of our clan members, I'm starting a group me for Guardian 1. And I've heard from other people, like the guys in Banana Guard. Mark Square was telling me about how group me is awesome. Oh, and then when I went to that public event last Friday,
Well, tell us about that.
it was awesome. It was amazing. I'm surprised that they didn't call the fire marshal. Like there was. It was
That's
just.
how I felt at DestinyCon in Tampa.
It was just packed. It was wall to wall people. Was that?
I think they actually threatened to call the fire marshal.
Right. And so it was just crazy, and I got to meet a lot of the people. I got to talk to a lot of the people again. And I don't know, I'm not a very attractive dude, but I think I'm a pretty unique looking dude. And so a lot of the people definitely remembered me. Whether or not they remembered my name or where they met me, that's neither here nor there. Oh, man. Okay. So I want to shout out right now to Dottie. I was talking with Cosmo, and then Deej came up, and I took a picture with those guys because I wasn't gonna let a photo opportunity slip through my fingers. Like, I see these people taking pictures with a bunch of Bungie dudes, and I'm like, man, why didn't I do that when I was hanging out with them? So I didn't even play it cool the whole night. I was like, I just walked right up to them and said, hey, when the last time I met you, I didn't take a picture with you, and I felt stupid about it. Can I take a picture with you? But it was great.
Awesome.
And so there's this guy off to the side. They had these, there was like worksheets, these like quiz type worksheets, like crossword puzzles and other different kinds of things. And then you turned those in, and then you were given these engrams. And then inside the engram, it was like a quarter machine, plastic bauble with M&Ms and a little piece of paper inside, and it was a piece of gear. And then at the end, they raffled off a bunch of cool stuff. And this guy was working on one over to the side, and he recognized me. Like, once I told Cosmo, I'm like, "Hey, Cosmo, my name is Remy," and he's like, "Oh, I know who you are." And I believed him because he's been following me forever. He's been following me for a really long time. And so this guy was off to the side, and he's like, "Oh, I listen to your podcast all the way. I listen to it all the time. Like, you have made my drive really, really awesome, and I really appreciate it. And normally, I will just take a compliment. If you want to say that you know who I am and you think I kick ass, I will shake your hand and I will just go with it. Like, who cares? Who cares if you really don't know who I am? You said some nice words to me. Let's be friends." But this guy, like, he tracked the progress of the show and how when we went to iTunes and how he used to only watch it on YouTube, and he'd have to tell his daughter, "No, we're not going to watch. Frozen right now." like when he mentioned that he only watched it on YouTube because that was how he got it. I was like, this guy's legit. Like, this guy really does know. He really does listen to the show. And so I wanted to shout out to you. Dottie, meeting you was really awesome, and it was really great to chat with you, and I hope you're enjoying this, as River says, however you enjoy to listen to it. But yeah, the whole thing was really awesome, and I got to go with Flounder, and we got to go and talk to these people, and I saw Roxar. She's really awesome. I saw Jason. I forgot his last name. Really cool guy though.
Jones.
No, I would have remembered that. Jason Sussman. He is such an awesome dude, and he is probably the one employee that I feel is like he's just this sponge for comments. Like the other guys are like, "Oh, I'm glad you like it," and like some of them would make jokes, like Daniel Out. I said, "Man, I want to play other games. I got a lot of gamer score, but I just can't play anything other than Destiny." And he said, "Would you say that you're not invested in other games and that you're invested in Destiny?" I said, yeah, definitely. And he laughed and he said, "Well, that's a joke because we're on the investment team." And so I said, "Yeah, definitely. You've done a good job." I'm definitely invested in Destiny. But it was amazing.
Well, I was.
Yeah. Poor
Would you call it
Agrios.
Investiny?
Investiny. But yeah, so it was really a lot of fun, and as I sat there and was like looking through the crowd, I decided the next time I go to one of these things, I'm gonna have like some kind of recording device, and I'm just gonna go through and talk to every single person, and I want to ask them like a series of questions, like I want to get a feel for what their favorite class is. Like, I want to go through all the BS, but I also want to go through I don't know, cool questions. Like, I will be consulting my oracles on what to ask these people in the future, but I really want to go through, and I really want to shake everyone's hand and talk to them about it. There was really just a ton of I can't think of the word, but it was awesome. It was awesome, and there's so much more that can be done within this community. So yeah, new group me coming out soon. You will probably receive an invitation from somebody in the group. Like, I'm gonna spider it out. I'm going to hit the people who exist right around me, and then I'm going to have them spider out, because there's some new people in the group that I am not personally aware of, and this will give everyone a chance to mingle in one world. So it looks really cool. I have some more questions about it, but I will be sending out invitations to people. Or you could probably just hit me up on Twitter at DearBungie or at G1net, and we will go from there. But yes, Anybody else with anything, or Agrios with the news?
Have somebody follow you around with that recording device. That way you can be in the picture too.
Good idea. Good idea. Maybe what I'll do is I'll get a really fancy camera that records in 1080p. That way, and I could connect like a little microphone to it. That would be really cool.
Oh, just get one of those old style VHS camcorders. It sits on your shoulder.
Good idea. Good idea.
Terrible idea. All right, I'm done.
Agrios is muted.
Unmute.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. No, yeah, okay. I'm good. I wasn't 100% prepared there. I was getting invaded at the moment. Hold on. Okay. All right. So, yeah, crazy week. New game. All kinds of stuff going on. Weekly update this week. Not too much we don't already know. A little bit about Xur. But first off, I mean, it was right in the beginning of the update. Let's just talk about the raid tomorrow, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern time.
13 hours. 13 hours from now.
Yeah, crazy close to the right now. Crazy close to the beginning. Like, the delay is almost a tease of a delay. It's so close with the new leveling system to the start of it. So, like, whether you're even ready to go, if you've had the time to put in to be ready to go, you're fortunate at this point, the way I feel. Unless RNG really blessed you. So, yeah, really kind of crunch time to be ready. And then, as in some of the other raids, it's going to be a race to the finish. Lots of strong contenders out there for the race to the finish. Anybody placing any bets? And will you be attempting to, finish first with your raid group?
Well, I don't think you can bet on yourself, so I'll leave mine out.
All right, in that case, I'm betting on Jez. Yeah.
I find it funny looking at the Destiny tracker, and like half of them are people that I know from math class, like from the leaderboards of light level.
What is
kind of crazy?
What is the highest light level right now, Jez?
I just seen that Striker, FWC on Reddit, used to be a mod, is currently 298, and that's the highest I've seen.
298.
And while we were recording, I was just soloing tier 1s in Court of Oryx, and I got a ghost, and now I'm 297.
Awesome. Damn. Look at you.
Nice.
Yeah, maybe I should be playing Destiny at the same time, too.
Wouldn't advise it. It's very distracting.
And what tier was that, you said?
Just the tier 1, the lowest level.
Really? And you got a 297 ghost?
295 ghost.
Oh, a 295 ghost? That's awesome.
It was just enough. It was like 9-point difference to put me up to 297.
So if I had everything on me right now at light level 280, would that make me light level 280?
Yep.
Okay. So I was just curious to know if that lined up like that.
Supposedly it's a slightly weird calculation. It's like your weapons are worth 12% of your average. Your ghost, your artifact, and your class item are like 8%, and your armor's all 10%. So it's not like a straight here's.
Yeah, it's not easy to figure out. I mean, the first thing that clued me in was when we were first getting our gear together. When I had a 180 class item as a warlock, and I had 170 in all my other classes, that averaged out to be 171.25. So, and I still was only at 170. Yeah. That was my first clue that it wasn't an even break.
Yeah, I think they worked it out during that point. It was like 12.5% was your weapons, and that's why getting a 1 or 2 points on your weapon put you over that edge.
I was fortunate. I landed early on. It really helped me out, especially in my situation. I landed early on in a Crucible win. I got a 252 hand cannon when I was still really low in light, and that really helped boost the gear I got since then.
That's awesome. I got really lucky in that I received my Arms Day weapon early, so I've been running around with a 280 Suros scout rifle that is amazing. It is amazing.
So sad I didn't get one of those. I didn't get any of them on any of my characters or anything. I don't know what the deal is with that. Did anybody figure that out exactly yet? What happened with that? Why if some people got them early and some didn't?
So I want to say, and this was, I think it was Bungie Informer that brought this up to me, but I could be wrong. Somebody asked me if I was still logged in from the day before when I placed my order, and so
I asked you that at some point.
Okay, then maybe it was you. And so that's the most real answer I can think of. The only thing that makes any real sense, because I thought, oh, maybe you place this order and then just 10 minutes later you get this weapon. Like it didn't make sense, and that's not what I thought it was. But yeah, I was logged in from the day before. It was like 2:04, and I placed my order, and then like 2:14 or something like this, I received it.
We'll be testing that next week.
Oh, so it's kind of like the people were getting double bounties. You were
that was what my
order,
thought was,
and then it was restarting.
That's my thought. Yeah, like he's placing his order and he's still not logged out from yesterday, so it still thinks timer-wise that it's Tuesday of last week. Then he logs out and logs back in, or just goes to orbit or something, and boom, he gets his weapon because it's refreshed.
Right, and that has really made Destiny for me, because having something that has not yet been outpaced by a blue is it's really been a lot of fun. On top of it, I feel like I got a pretty decent roll on it, and just for the sake of testing, I ordered one on each of my characters, just because the other ones, like I wasn't really interested in the fusion rifle, and pulse rifles are kind of iffy for me. So I just wanted to see if I would get a different roll on a different character. That way, if I found a better one, I could just whittle it down to that. But it's so much fun, and the site that came on it is so much fun, and it really.
Are they all identical?
I don't know. Well, no, I only got one.
Oh, okay. So only one of your characters, because only one was logged in.
Yeah.
Right. So the other two are still waiting on theirs.
Absolutely. The other five. The other
but
five.
Do we know? Did everybody get the same one? I mean, from the pictures people posted online, or the pictures other people posted the same as your perks?
Man, that's a really good question. We should really gather that data and check.
I've been so AWOL with my trip that I haven't been able to keep up on things as currently as I normally do.
Right, and for those of you listening, and I haven't talked to Agrios about this, but I feel like where Agrios is right now is kind of like a cross between Space Camp and Burning Man. So take that away from what you will. I haven't asked where you're going, because I've just been too busy playing Destiny. I don't even care. Like, fucking whatever. Agrios can't play? Sure.
The series of parties in Atlanta.
But yeah, Space Camp and Burning Man. That's where Agrios is right now, as far as I'm concerned. Moving on.
Moving on, yeah. So next we talk about, in Bungie's words, that bastard Zer. They bring in senior design lead Tyson Green to fill us in on the details. He explains how in year one that Zer was a community loot drop, a shared rallying point that everyone could cheer or curse. In year two, Zer's offerings have been changed so that he will select either a specific exotic weapon or exotic engram for sale every week. This change is due primarily to our desire to give players the direct paths to acquiring the exotics they want through quests and gameplay experiences, and to avoid repetition in his inventory. He's also going to sell a new consumable, the 3 of Coins, which gives bosses the chance to drop exotic engrams, including weapon engrams. Sorry, these consumables have a cumulative luck effect. So even if one doesn't get you a drop, the next one has a higher chance to do so. So they're never a waste, really. And lastly, Zer will also choose a legacy engram each week. These engrams contain year 1 exotics at year 1 attack and defense levels for players who want to finish up their collection. They strongly bias towards exotics not already in your blueprint collection to help fill in the blank slots, excluding Mythoclast and Necrochasm, which are still only available from the year 1 sources. So this is good news for if you're holding out on that one exotic, you're not going to have to go back and run one old level thing over and over and over again and find groups to do so if you really need to collect it. Like, for instance, I need the fourth horseman. Good news is there's a good chance that Xur is going to show that to me at some point. How do you feel about the changes to Xur?
So I've got a quick question.
Do it.
Do you think this is going to apply to the House of Wolves exotics, or am I just going to have to do PoE over and over and over again?
The fact that they specify that the fact that the Mythoclast and the Necrochasm are the only two excluded makes me think that they are going to be available, which would make sense then, since they took away the opportunity to pick which one you got. Their way of making it so that you weren't totally at the fate of RNG before was that you could get an Elder Cipher and then pick which of the three you still needed. I think since combined with the fact that they took that away, the Elder Cipher away, and they added they specified the Necrochasm Mythoclast means that those are going to be included in that rotation.
Well, there was a forum post where someone on the Reddit asked, Cosmo posted, if you haven't read the Bungie weekly update yet, Tyson Green stopped by to give information about how Xur changes inventory for year 2. And a couple clarifications. He said exotics that previously only dropped in PoE can drop from Legacy engrams.
Oh, well, there you go.
Yay.
That's the answer to the question right there.
And Xur will also still continue to sell one piece of exotic armor per class.
Interesting.
Excellent
indeed. You know what? I want to ask you each what you got from your deceptive engram, and was it good to you? Because for me, on both the Xbox and the PlayStation, my deceptive engram turned into Monte Carlo, which was really sweet. I really, really enjoy getting exotics that I didn't have before. I got my 10th Plan C. Who cares? Like, what a letdown. But I picked up Monte Carlo, and I was like, oh, man, this is excellent. I needed this. I wanted to play with this. It looks like fun. It's a little more pew-pew than I was hoping it would be. I was kind of hoping for a little bit more Harley in there. But it seems fun, and I'm glad that I added it to my list. And then for it to be the Deceptive Engram on Xbox wasn't even a possibility before. How sweet was that? River, what did your Deceptive Engram turn into?
I'm an Xbox One player, and it gave me Hawkmoon.
Oh man, that is awesome! That is awesome. And have you had a chance to play
Congrats.
around with that yet?
Thanks. Yeah, I played with it a little bit, but then I found out really quickly that it's not even worth getting into right now, since the race is to get to a high light level in order to do some of this shit.
PvE later on, you could have some fun with it, I'm sure.
So whenever I get 150 legendary marks, maybe I'll just go ahead and buy year 2 Hawkmoon and then go from there.
What about you, Crimson Warlock? What did you get?
I got my second Red Death. So nothing new, but I had the only exotic that I think it could have given me was something I already had, so I wasn't expecting anything new.
Got it. Jez?
Thorn.
It gave you
Really?
Thorn?
That's weird.
Yeah.
I didn't even know you could get that.
Yeah.
Well, then maybe I should have hoped for a super good advice, because I still need that one.
Man, I can't believe you don't have super good advice. That's
for the
funny.
sounds of it, it sounds like it's only giving primaries.
That's true.
Well, no, in Mr. Bach 3000 in the chat here says he got a year 2 Thunderlord from that green engram. 290 light.
A year 2 one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Shark's got a year 1 Thunderlord, I think, didn't he?
I think he did.
Year 2?
Right, year 2, just right off the bat.
Bat.
Here's the exotic I'm using for a while.
Lucky bastard.
Good on you.
Oh,
Mr.
yeah.
Bach 3000. What did you get, Agrios?
I got my umpteenth Hawkmoon.
Got it. I think I've only ever gotten one Hawkmoon.
You never got the fourth horseman. That's my white whale at the moment.
Yeah, I don't have Fourth Horseman, and I don't have. Man, maybe that's it. Oh no, and I haven't picked a. I'm still sitting on a cipher, an Elder Cipher on both stations, because. What's that?
I have no year 2 exotics. Otherwise, Fourth Horseman is the only one I'm missing. That's all I was going to say.
Wasn't your cipher completed?
Yeah, it's completed, but at first I felt like it was a no-brainer. I was going to pick up the Queen's Bow because it felt the most exotic to me. Like I wasn't really interested in the sidearm, and a shotgun really isn't my style. But then I saw that the shotgun has 33 shots to it, and I thought, man, that sounds like a lot of fun. So I've been up in the air between the Queen's Bow and the shotgun. Which one would you say is better, Jez?
Overall, it seems that the shotgun is better. Well, they're all fusion rifles except for Drake's Promise, but it seems like Lord of Wolves is the best one. However, Queensbreaker Bow seems to be the funnest one.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I thought about going with one on each system, but then I thought, I don't know, I'd like to just kind of keep it simple. Yeah, I just haven't turned it in. I think what I might do is I might wait until I get one of those randomly dropped, and then I'll just pick up whatever the other one is. I mean, assuming it's not the Drake's Promise. Moving on.
Unmute.
Unmuting on? He's in orbit right now.
Unmuting on, yeah. Unmuting on. All right. So there's not a whole lot more in the weekly update. We go into like some technical issues that they're aware of. Some people are missing their moments of triumphs have like gotten messed up for some folks. They're waiting on that to be resolved. Other people are missing VIP rewards, quest access, things like that. They give help sources for all these things, as well as the Soros Arsenal and Weapon Pack access. You guys all psyched about your Soros Weapon and Arsenal Pack? You think that was a good deal?
Explain that to me, because I'm not really sure what I'm looking for right here.
Okay, so this is going to way depress you unless you have a character who is not yet past level 30. Because I thought it was going to be something sweet, and what it turned out to be is that you go to the Vanguard Quartermaster, and then he will try and sell you some level 30 weapons. Like they're like green level 30 weapons.
Okay, so the Vanguard Armory originally it gave you level 5 green weapons to everybody starting the game. So as soon as you got to level 5, you had a full set of nice green weapons. You didn't have to deal with whatever you got screwed out of not having a green weapon in yet. It was actually, and there were helmets there. And then when you got close enough, when you passed level 5 and got close enough, they upgraded to level 10 weapons. Well, this was the exact same thing as that, but it was with Soros weapons, and they're all green weapons that were capped at level 30. In a game that the last expansion capped at level 34, and the one before that at 32, and Vanilla was at 30, right?
Yeah.
So why were these at 30? Shouldn't they have been at like 36 at least?
So this will be good for that Titan I deleted.
Well, think of it this way.
Not even, because you're going to have weapons that you're going to want to pass from your other characters that are going to be a million times better than these before you're any time sooner. Because they're
maybe
level
later
30
on,
green weapon. No, they're level 30 green weapons. All the weapons you had before Taken King ever launched are better than them.
Hey, I just bought the game. I used my Focus of Light. Now I'm level 25. I can't wait to use those Soros weapons.
Yeah, but that benefits only as such a small percentage.
That's
Jez, I love your role playing. That was really that was really spot on.
Pretty much the only reason why I could see what they were there for. That and to look pretty.
But I mean, if you would have at least made them at least above the last level cap, make them 35 at least, for God's sake. I said at least 36, but the 35 at least would step up,
You know what they should have done? They should have made them legendaries that you could infuse.
Oh, that really low legendaries that you can infuse?
Yeah, so you buy this you buy this item and you
Oh.
use it at like level 30, and then you're like, oh, okay, I'm done with this. You throw it away, and then later on, you're like, huh, now I got a whole bunch of legendary marks. I'm level 40. Let's revisit that place. Pick up one of those weapons, infuse things into it, and there you go. You got a at level weapon.
So
Interesting.
Agrios, is this not going to help me on PS4?
Not really, because you're like I said though, all the weapons you had before the Taken King ever launched are already 34. These are 30 green weapons. Every
Well, he
weapon
never
you
had any.
saved are going to be.
Yeah, I
Oh,
didn't
you
have
haven't
anything on PS4.
had anything at all. Okay, so if you use your Sparkle Light, but you can only use your Sparkle Light on one character, I mean, that's going to bump you right up. And
The
everything after
25.
the first character, you're going to have weapons to pass to your other two. So maybe for a brief window on your first character,
For 10 minutes.
they might for like a level or two benefit you. It might be worth the glimmer if you weren't already blessed by RNG to get a blue weapon that was higher than them before you ever hit 30, like a level 29 blue weapon that's better than those level 30 weapons that you're already been using for a level before you even ever get there.
So it's obviously aimed at new players, not you.
If even that, because like I said, if RNG blesses you enough that you got level 28 blue weapons, like a level 28 blue weapon is going to have a higher attack value and better perks than these level 30 green weapons. So if you're playing up from level 25 anyway, you've got 5 levels of getting stuff to like happen to get blue weapons in each of those categories to make buying these green weapons pointless.
What about those other two characters that I'm probably going to start?
You're going to pass weapons to them
Am I?
that you already have, legendary and blue weapons that you already have that are better than those. I would. I mean, I don't know about you. You want space now, especially on
I mean, I'm not going to use those to infuse in my main character on PS4. I'm just saying,
Not
man.
if it's particularly sweet. I wouldn't. I keep it for leveling and then infuse it later once all 3 of my characters are already leveled up. It'll still be useful.
I'm just saying, my Titan, my Warlock that I'm going to have on PS4 probably needs some stuff like this.
Yeah.
Why don't you get back to us on that?
Sure,
I will.
Because I am
Sure.
of the opinion that they're basically trash, and it makes me sad because leading up to the Taken King, I was like, man, I can't wait to get my hands on those Suros. That's going to be awesome.
You know?
And I went to the Vanguard Quartermaster just to see what he had, and I was like, man, these weapons look great. I'm like, what is this green crap here? And then I just went about my business because I had Destiny to play. And at some point on a forum post, I saw somebody say like, "Where's my Suros and Haka weapons?" And someone was like, "Oh, they're at the Vanguard Quartermaster." And I said, "No." And then I went back and looked at them. So why don't we do this, River? Why don't you get back to us on whether or not those are awesome? And
I'll
we'll
let
go
you
from
know.
there. Let's see. Moving on.
Moving on, that's pretty much it for the meat of the update. We go into the movie of the week. We have a Solar Sword versus Crota. One of the new swords taking down Crota. Because of my lackluster internet connection, I was unable to view it earlier in the day. So I get to check this out. If you guys have any input.
Nope, sure don't.
Little known
Yeah, I
fact.
usually try to always check these out, but at least give them recognition. Cosmo thought they were special enough to put up there, so everybody go check that out. It's great. I love what the Destiny community puts out. They some of the best collection of viewer-made content out of any category of anything I've ever been involved in.
True story.
You know, I want to say right now that I think Cosmo was the best person to bring on in the fact that I really feel like he has had his finger on the Destiny pulse for a long time. Like, I've known him in the community for a long time. He started that Destiny Reddit. Like, he just really clearly earned the position that he's been given. And I'm way stoked for him because how cool, like I would love to be paid to do one or more things at Bungie. And then I got to meet him, and he is a really cool guy. He is a really cool guy. And, I don't know. I love talking Destiny. I love talking about Destiny. I don't know what it is about Destiny. I don't know I don't know what kind of digital crack Bungie has put into this game in order for me to love it so much. But despite being really, 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 really sad that all of the gear that I have coveted over the last year is just such shit at this point. It's just literally taking up space, and I have not yet been able to bring myself to do it, to delete.
Well, wait, not
majority.
necessarily. Like, light level aside, standard Crucible, like, sure, your armor with your intellect and discipline, it's important to wear your highest end stuff just so your intellect, discipline, strength, the stats don't get screwed over. But as far as your weapons go, in standard Crucible use, all your weapons are still totally valid.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think I have time to switch to some outdated crap before I go back into the Crucible. And on that note, I took I took my new Suros into the Crucible and just laid waste to people with that scout rifle. I feel like they're gonna nerf it here pretty soon because it was awesome. I was just killing dudes. I've almost gotten to the point in Crucible where I'm almost complaining about people stealing my kills. And this is something that I've really been looking forward to because I hear people talk about that. Oh man, you stole my kill. And I've just never been of that mindset. And with this Suros in hand, I went in there and I just started to feel that pressure where it's like, I almost said to somebody like, "Hey, you took my kill. That was mine." Like I was treating these other players as if they were just a moving target. So
nice.
It feels really good. I feel really solid in the Crucible, and I feel like I can't wait for them to bring Mayhem back. Did you guys get a chance to play Mayhem? River, did you play Mayhem?
Oh yes.
Man,
yes, absolutely, I did.
I feel like Mayhem wiped the slate clean for me and Crucible, and I tell you what, there's no better feeling than seeing that Blade Dancer show up and just Titan stomping his ass into the ground. And Mayhem allowed me to whiff a super, and it wasn't a big deal because there wasn't any wait for me to spawn again, and then 30 seconds time, here is my super again. It was a lot of fun. Did you play Rift?
Yeah, I play Rift a lot right now.
Yeah.
It's freaking fun. Makes me think of Space Jam every time I slam it.
That's awesome. That's very awesome. What about the rest of you guys? Crimson Warlock, did you play any of that PvP?
I did, and it was a lot of fun. I liked Rift, and Mayhem was even more fun for me. It was just a lot of fun.
I had very little fun in Rift until I started playing it with a team. It's really a team sport. Like I don't ever want to jump into a pickup game again in Rift. Mayhem though, I will play with random people in Mayhem. Because I don't ever have to worry about my team using their supers. Nobody is sitting on their golden gun. Nobody's sitting on that Titan Smash. They'll use it on the very first person right around the corner. Jez, did you play much of that multiplayer?
I tried. I played a bunch of. I played some Mayhem and Rift earlier, like before the expansion launch. I played a couple games of Rift since its launch, but haven't really dug into it yet.
Got it. Got it. Agrios, what about you?
A lot last week, not as much this week.
Crimson Warlock, in case you're wondering, you're not muted.
We're a little light.
I can just see him sitting there thinking, like, thank goodness I'm muted right now, or else everybody who's listening right now is hearing this crying baby. And me personally, I don't mind like life happening.
Response to the Crucible, you misunderstood.
That would be some psychological torture to the people on the other team if it was like, if everyone could hear everyone like in Halo.
I played a lot last week. bunch of this week. I just haven't had the time to put. I've been working on getting that character raid worthy. But I got to say, Mayhem was a lot of fun just because of the craziness. Totally different play style, different tactics altogether. And Rift's a lot of fun. Like you said, it's a real team sport though. Like when you're in a group, it's way more fun. Like they're like he's got the spark, and everybody forms up like kind of like flying V style around the spark runner and right through the enemy.
Mighty
and slam that shit down.
Ducks.
Yeah, so yeah, lots of fun. Lots of very, very different from all of the previous play styles, which I think is key.
Got it. Well, let's see. I think that's the show then. Yeah. Do you got anything else, Agrios?
No, that's it. That's definitely it for me, and I think that's it in a nutshell. Everybody get out there and get your shit done.
River, do you have anything else that you wanted to talk about before we go?
Oh yeah. There is one more thing. Next week I will not be here, so starts my bi-weekly schedule here on the podcast.
So sad. It's so bittersweet. We gain River on 4, yet we lose him every other week on the podcast. It's so sad.
It is kind of sad. I'm also working on a PS4 unboxing video. I'm editing it. So
Ooh.
I'll try and put that out.
Nice.
Cool. Very cool. Looking forward to that.
Okay.
Crimson Warlock and also Baby Warlock. Do you have anything that you wanted to get to before we close the book on this episode?
Nope. I think we've had a good podcast, and let's get back to leveling up and playing Destiny.
Let's get back to leveling up and playing Destiny. Jez, is there anything that you wanted to bring up? Or do you have any extra tips that you were just waiting for context to pull out of you?
Here's a tip. Go to sleep now so that you can wake up for the raid tomorrow.
That only works with people who are light level 298.
I'm not 298.
That reminds me, I did want to just shout out real quick to everybody again on Xbox One, since I'm not going to be running the raid tomorrow, and that I would like to try to get a blind run in on Saturday. So if anybody wants to do a blind run on the raid on Saturday, hit me up, please. Saturday night.
Excellent, and definitely try a blind run. I'm sad that I was unable to do a blind run with the Vault of Glass, and going into Crota blind was really a lot of fun to figure out. I actually jumped in before everybody else because other people were dealing with a bunch of sweet weapons I didn't have. I just had some dusty crap that I was going to wear into there, and it's really a beautiful thing to not know what your surroundings are, where you're going, or what you're going to be facing. So yeah, like Crimson Warlock, why don't you let me know how it works out for you watching streams, and then River, keep a tiny diary like Toland and be like, oh, went into some giant dreadnought, totally messed up.
I'll probably stream it or something. That'll be my vlog.
That'll be very cool. I'm sad that me and Sharks and Agrios didn't stream, and then that being our vlog for when the Taken King first launched, because we had a really great time not knowing what we were doing and going in there. Mm-hmm. And guys, I'm sorry I shot that worm thing before you guys had a chance to scan it. I hope that you haven't.
I keep trying to go back there and scanning it. I'm wondering if I got credit for you scanning it because you're on my fire team, because I went back to there twice and found the worm and it wouldn't give me a scan option.
Interesting. I'm wondering if that's how it works.
I've
that makes
scanned things I've scanned before, like I've scanned them a second time.
Oh, you've scanned that worm before?
There's a worm feeder thing that it says the worms eat from this thing. I've scanned it twice now.
Interesting. Interesting. All right. Well, then I'll ask you one more time, Agrios. Anything else?
No.
This is it.
We doing shout-outs? Is it shout-outs?
This is shout-outs, starting with Agrios.
Okay, so I want to shout out to friends, both real life and in game. Like Destiny, like no other games, like brought me together with friends that I play with on a regular basis. That those friends are like as much a part of my life as like any of my other friends in real life. And this weekend has brought spotlight onto that, as how much I need to juggle my Destiny playing slash interaction versus like this annual gathering of friends in real life that I'm going to, and they're all understanding, if not prodding and poking and doing their best to try to shout in the background as I do things.
Sounds like
so.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely gathering a true friends here, and as well that I've been, that's why I've been standing in the kitchen with the Destiny. That's why Destiny is on my friend's kitchen in another city right now with my PlayStation. The friends I've made through Destiny as well. So shout out to friends in general.
Yeah, those guys have to kick ass in order for them to let you look at I have to level. My light level's 213. Do you know what that means? Jez.
Either shout out to Striker for being, I think, the world's first 298, and also to my raid team that's gonna beat Datto.
Who's in your raid team?
Awesome.
We have Outhouse, Merrick, Helljumper, and Invictus, and Max, and Bounce. We actually have alternates.
That's a pretty big who's who of the Destiny community.
I wish you guys well. Good luck. I expect to see good things from your group.
I think
I agree.
we will.
I agree. I expect to hear that you guys are the world's first, and then you can talk about it on the podcast, and it will be great times.
Yeah, then I'll do my world tour.
Done and done. Crimson Warlock.
Shout out to, I guess, you guys for letting me mess up on the podcast and be a dad and still be able to do this. It's something I look forward to. Thanks to you, Remy. And you know what? All of Guardian 1 and everyone who plays Destiny, we're just a great bunch of people.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. Thank you, Crimson Warlock. River.
Shout out to Twisted Shots TV and Havoc Reaper. Those two, all three of us did the TTK streaming right whenever it launched, and I got it on my Twitch channel right now as far as archives. It was so much fun just going in blind with these guys, and we had a great time. I encourage you guys to check it out if you so choose, and you have about, 6 hours time, just to kind of not play Destiny or even watch it at the same time. But it was a lot of fun having a fire team to go through this kind of thing. And these guys it was just a lot of fun.
Awesome. You know what, River? I got the feeling when Agrios and Sharks and I were doing it, I got this feeling wash over me, oh man, I could totally do this, a couple times a year. Destiny's going to be updated throughout the years. I'm looking forward to being really excited about that specific feeling that you're talking about. At least once a year. Destiny year 3 will probably look nothing like Destiny year 2.
I hope not.
So yeah, what a cool thing. I definitely wish I had streamed and will stream it in the future.
Mm-hmm.
So that's it. Like I was saying, look for a group me invite where we will be able to come together as Guardian 1, and hopefully we will be able to coordinate a lot more efficiently than we have been previously. Twitter's cool, and there's other things like Hangouts, but I feel like maybe if everybody used this one, and by everybody I mean hopefully as many people as possible will be able to use this app. And like I said, I heard about it from Mark Square, and I was like, okay, I'll check it out. And then, I saw 3 guys from Resolute at that gathering, and they just showed me right on their phone. Like I asked them how they coordinate all of those people, and they're like, group me. And I was like, oh yeah, I actually heard about that. Is that awesome? And he just pulled out his phone and showed me everything that was going on. I was like, oh man, this is great. So
yeah, initially that's what we used as the mods of the subreddit. Initially, that we had a group me chat, and that's how we figured everything out for the subreddit.
That's awesome. So you're already set to go then.
We followed the exact same route. We went from GroupMe to Slack.
Oh, so maybe I should just go right to Slack then?
It's different.
So then start with Group Me and then outgrow it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. I'm in because we do need to have a starting point, and I do want to have a place where even brand new people can just come in and join the conversation and get to know people. And I think that this will really help with people who are looking for Nightfalls, or I'm on right now, like I really want there to be a tighter knit there.
I don't think Slack will work for that then, because I think every Slack you need to invite.
Yeah, I think that Group Me you need an invite to. And I have that invite ready.
Depends on place, yeah.
And we'll be inviting people in the coming days, if not right now. So excellent. My shout out again to Dottie, because I don't know, people come up and say, hey, I know who you are and you kick ass, but he really outlined the fact he outlined the arc of the Guardian 1 podcast, and that's legitimate. He could not have looked it up in the 10 seconds from hearing me say, hi, my name is Remy, to Cosmo. He could not have looked me up and had all that information. And that, I don't know, he said that we really made his traveling awesome. And that's a great feeling. It's a great feeling to know that he's listening to this and that he is enjoying this, because, I don't know, I am enjoying doing it. I love having you guys on the show. Soon we will have Mystic Rose on the show, and that will be really cool. Really looking forward to that. Also planning on having a better way of adding people to the conversation. I want to have community members on the show. I want to talk to them, and I haven't yet figured out the prime way of doing that, but working on it. Stay tuned. Group Me, then Slack, unless Group Me just fits. So that wraps up episode 57. I would like to thank everyone listening for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed the show. If you have any questions or suggestions for topics to be discussed on the show, please leave them in the comments below or send them to feedback@guardian1.net, and we will see you next week.